What's up, people, and welcome to another Warhammer 40k video. As you can see, I'm wearing my beanie because it is really, really cold outside, and I had to take the dogs out, so I can't feel my face, and I'm just going to leave this on until I warm up. But recently, there was an article put out by Wargamer, which happens to be a super-duper hyper-progressive TTRPG games journalism outlet, and if that's not your cup of tea, you should avoid them like the plague. But it was essentially delving into the female Space Marine argument and what Games Workshop should do about it. Now, of course, what's funny is there was a YouTuber by the name of, and this guy is a lot bigger than me, it was Hellstorm Wargaming, or Hellstorm Mikey, I think he goes by on X, decided to do a stream talking about this topic, and he's now getting eaten alive in the comments, as is deserved, and of course he's doubling down and talking shit, which, I mean, if this is the route you want to go, bro, go for it. Usually I don't talk shit unless people deserve it, but if you want to attack your audience, that's fine. But, yeah, he decided to cover this topic, and of course, right as he was mid-rant, you know, his wife busts in, says, I'm a feminist, and then basically talks about why we need female representation in 40k because she's a librarian or some shit. I don't fucking know. Anyway, the whole thing was a mess. So, that's on his stream. You can go look at that. I'm not even going to bother looking at it. We already kind of went over it on the Sunday live stream. But what I want to talk about is this article, because this article is awful. So, there we go. I went ahead and went the archive route on this because I refuse to give these people any sort of clicks or ad revenue. But we're gonna dissect this. So only GW can banish Warhammer 40k's gender demons for good. First of all, again, there are already women in the setting. They exist. There are people of color that exist. They're already there. But never mind. Nope. I'm not going to get triggered yet, regardless of how fucking stupid this title is. Female Space Marines don't matter, but an ideological backlash against the idea could drag the Warhammer community into dark places. Oh, you don't want female Space Marines? Here's why you're a bigot, Nazi, fascist, istophobe. Is essentially where this is going. I can already tell. And it's Alex Evans. Why do they all look the same? They all look the same! God damn it, man. There's something rotten in the state of Warhammer 40k, even as Games Workshop's most successful creation continues to grow, recruiting new fans and breaking sales records left, right, and center. Yeah, because they know their audience, and they know what sells. But they should somehow listen to the bearded editor for some outlet that nobody really likes. It still suffers from an old wound that refuses to heal and reopens every few months to gout foul, toxified blood once again. From both fucking sides! You dickwad. Both sides do it. If everybody would just shut the fuck up about female Space Marines for more than a day, it would disappear. It'd be gone. If you've ever spent more than 5 minutes in Warhammer 40k's online communities, especially within the last few months, not the last few months, years, you won't need to tell me, or you won't need me to tell you that this open, festering wound is gender. No, it's fucking not. It's people that don't want the lore to change or be retconned for the sake of it without actual reasons and actual motives behind it that aren't, you need to do this because I said so. It's not the same. There are women in the setting already. Ugh. Specifically, it's manifested in the question of whether Games Workshop should introduce female Space Marines into official 40k canon. A bit of background. During 40k's formative years, keyword formative, the late 80s and early 90s, GW didn't feel the need to market to women by including them in its number one favorite army, and women fans weren't in much of a position to tell GW they wanted to be included. That's horseshit, but whatever. So the game's power armored poster children stayed exclusively big beefy boys. So what? So what? It's one thing. It's one category. It's one IP. Not everything has to change and evolve to suit your viewpoints. If you don't like it, find something that fits your worldview that you can get into without pressuring other people that don't want said thing to do whatever the fuck it is that you want. It's that simple. Today, after 36 years of self-reinforcing lore inertia and corporate risk aversion, Space Marines are still front and center of every major 40k product. Yep. And they're still 100% men. Also, yeah. So what? Naturally, some fans already build their own FSMs at home with third-party components and headcanon is forever, but in the official models, Warhammer 40k books and 40k games, all Space Marines are male. He just solved the problem. Nobody is saying there's a problem with headcanon. Nobody is saying there's a problem with kit bashing. Nobody is saying you can't go out and make a whole fucking battalion of female Space Marines. What they are saying is, hey, just because you like this thing, I don't like it. Quit telling me and Games Workshop, by proxy, that this has to be a thing just because you want it. And no matter how many times they want to kick and scream, especially in my fucking comment section when I do videos like this, that they're the majority and the market is changing, you're fucking not. Quit deluding yourself. It's pure cope. You're not the majority. Most people who are actually proponents of inclusivity don't want this to be a thing. It doesn't make you a horrible person for saying, hey, it's fine the way it is, you don't really need to change anything, but somehow those people are the bad guys. Make it make sense. Living in these spaces every day, I admit I'm so tired of the whole damn business that mostly I just hope it'll go away. But then I remember two things. First, staying neutral is always a vote for the status quo, which currently is a cesspit of bilge. What? And hold on. I need to back up a second. If you don't like the fucking setting, if you don't like the IP, fucking leave. You don't need to be in the hobby. You don't have to like 40k. Go find something else to like. Like, why is this dude acting like he's some moral arbiter by sticking around in the hobby and writing shit like this? You're not. You're just as toxic in a cesspit as the rest of the fuckers that are doing the exact same thing. And second, when you turn your back on cesspits, unpleasant things start to grow from them. So it's time we had a little chat about how this whole sorry situation, what's going on, why it sucks, why it matters, and what's to be done about it. Strap in, nerds, it's going to be a long, bumpy ride. No, it's fucking not. There's nothing this guy is going to say that somebody hasn't already said multiple times for the last however many years. I don't know why he's acting like he has some big-brained idea that's going to fix the issue when it's not. This is purely for clicks, because I guarantee you, as we go through this, nothing in here is going to be something that we haven't heard before. Don't mention the G word. Before we get started, it's worth remarking with some regret how hesitant I was to even broach this subject in print. No, you fucking know exactly what you were doing. Don't be fucking disingenuous. Not because it's not important or appropriate, mind you. Politics, including gender politics, are everywhere in fiction because they permeate every facet of human existence in the world, including our hobbies, games, and stories, whether you want them to or not. Okay, so he's one of those people. At a risk of stating the obvious, anyone who berates you for trying to insert politics into their hobby is either woefully uninformed, dogmatically ignorant, cynically pushing their... Okay, this is all lefty talking point bullshit that we've already been over multiple times. That every other person has already been over multiple times. You do not have to inject real-world politics into everything, no matter how much of a, as this guy puts it, dogmatic, fucking rabid-eyed pole idiot you are. So we're going to skip this because it's fucking pointless and I don't feel like reading this guy's dribble. Let's get to where he actually, brings up something new. It's those guys again. FSMs aren't inherently a very big deal, but in my estimation, they've been made into a battleground issue by the behavior, motivations, and sheer fury of the people railing against them. Nobody is railing against anything except when these people come in and start the arguments about how they're right and you, as a fan, are wrong. That's when the arguments start. It's not the anti-female Space Marine crowd going, you know what? I'm going to wake up and say, hey, fuck you and your female Space Marines that you kit bashed. It's not happening. I don't know if I can do it. I don't know. Because you and I both know what happens when fans of a fictional thing start sharing dangerous notions about updating it to make it friendlier to more groups of people. Those guys are going to start turning up. Using words like inclusivity, representation, or gender draws them to you like hungry carrion birds to a fresh corpse. There's so much fucking hyperbole here. Wherever real people are trying to be kind to other real people, no, you're fucking not. Don't even do that shit. You're trying to push people out that you deem as the wrong think crowd. At the cost of amending or even simply criticizing some elements of a shared imaginary world, they sense an opportunity for performative outrage, which is exactly what this guy is doing. So again, nothing we haven't seen before. They're right, but more importantly, they're wrong. Let's see what he has to say here. When those guys tell you there aren't any female Space Marines, they're absolutely correct. Okay, there, done. That's it. It's done. You don't have to say anything else after that. Because it's not a thing. It's only a thing when you kit bash it, or draw it, or whatever, and then it's a thing for you. And guess what? That's okay. That's your thing. It's not my thing. I'm not going to tell you you can't do it. But I'm not going to kick and scream that, hey, Games Workshop, there's a guy over there that's drawing female Primarchs. And now he's 3D printing them, and now he's playing a game with them. Hey, you see that guy? Don't do that. It's not going to happen. We're not going to do that. People like me, which is almost everybody, except for like the random fucking rabid people that nobody likes, would agree. So, they throw all this hyperbole, all these exaggerations. They want to make it sound like people like me, people like you that are watching this that also agree with me, are the bad people. When that's not the case. It's just that, and here's one thing that, right here. Far right. It's what they always boil it down to. So, you know what? How did it come to this? Let's see if he has anything. Warhammer 40,000 isn't a fundamentally conservative, misogynist, or illiberal entity, either in its fiction, its philosophies, or its operation. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so he's going back to the 40K as satire. Okay, that I told you, nothing new in this. So what should we do about it? Now, this could be interesting. In recent years, GW has made some limited but welcome public statements, and they've made two. In fact, I've talked about both of them. In an effort to align itself against bigoted or intolerant fans under the banner phrase, Warhammer is for everyone. These people don't even believe it's for everyone. In fact, they want you gone. If this article is anything to go by, they absolutely want you gone. But a brief trundle through 40K Twitter, YouTube, Reddit, and Discord communities is enough to demonstrate just how far there is to still go before it can turn that mission statement into practical reality. Any suggestion that the envelope of Warhammer 40K products, media, or events be widened in any way to better accommodate and affirm non-white, straight, cis male fans can confidently expect a wave of downvotes, mockery, and derision. That's total bullshit. Again, they're making this stuff up to, I don't know, garner more support for something that they don't need. Nobody has a problem with, especially like, what was it, the Eddie Murphy Dawn of Fire, the Rogue Trader captain, I think it was, on the book cover. Nobody cared. In fact, the jokes were just like, oh, he looks like Eddie Murphy. Nobody gave a shit. Same thing with the Black Ultramarine. Nobody gave a shit. Same thing with Black Rogue Traders in the actual Rogue Trader game. Nobody gave a shit. Why? Because I know, and other people know, black folks that like 40K. I know it's a shock to these fucking liberal idiots. But guess what? They're not clamoring like the white shit libs, like this guy, saying that they're underrepresented. Because Games Workshop has been doing better about that. They have been more inclusive. They have been adding more representation. I've said many, many times, nobody cares. They would have you think that if you walk into a Games Workshop store, you're walking into a fucking clan rally. That's what they want new people to think. And I hope to God, if you're a new player, that you're watching my video, and I'm telling you that is not the case. These people are fucking insane. They sit all day on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it, picking fights with people and championing causes and being a fucking activist, just like this guy is doing in his own article. So that's the gist of it. That there was nothing there of substance that is even worth the extra 5 minutes I'm going to give this article, because he's not saying anything new. It was put out so he can get clicks and he can, sound the war horn for Wokehammer or whoever the fuck to have his back about, all right, we're going to start the argument again. And then you know what? Somebody's going to do it again tomorrow. And then somebody's going to do it again the day after that. And again, and again, and again, and again, until they get what they want. Keyword there is want. Not need. Want. They want it. Plain and simple. And if you don't want it, then you're the bad guy. So, thanks for watching, everybody. Until next time, don't even bother looking at this shit. I'm going to go bleach my brain or something.